Hey you guys, I hope you're doing well. It is a beautiful day today. So I found a silly little TikTok that I want to talk to you guys about. It's involving the Golden Steer restaurant in Las Vegas. They have two locations. They have one in Las Vegas and one in New York, I believe. I don't know if it's in New York City, but it's in New York. So this is the Vegas location that we're going to be talking about today. Apparently, they've got a whole TikTok and they've got like a couple 100,000 followers. They are posting all the time. They're like really on their social media game. Recently, someone visited their restaurant and had a little bit of an awkward experience. I wouldn't say it was a bad experience. They did end up posting about it. I don't know. Listen, I've only been to Las Vegas a couple of times and I've definitely never been to any of the fine dining fancy restaurants while I was there. I was pretty much just sticking to the all-you-can-eat buffets. Okay, so the Golden Steer is a relatively upscale seafood steakhouse restaurant, right? To eat there, you'd be spending anywhere between like $100 to a few $100s per person. So, I mean, if you're like looking for a nice dining experience, I'm sure that you would have a nice experience. They're also famous for having a lot of celebrities eat there, like Marilyn Monroe, Elvis. A lot of like big celebrities have been there apparently and have quite enjoyed it. So, anyway, they are super famous down in Las Vegas, and recently a girl posted on TikTok. Her name's Roxanne. She had ordered a steak and lobster, which is apparently like $300. I did check online. Apparently they can be up to like $300 US. And like, listen, I'm Canadian, so for the Canadians out there, that's like over $400. Okay, that is an expensive meal. Anyway, so she's eating this $300 steak and lobster, and apparently the staff just come on by the table and they try to take away her plate before she's even done eating. So the TikTok she made is her kind of like guarding her plate and making a joke about it, like she's eating it and like, don't touch my plate, you know? It says, when the Golden Steer takes away your $300 dish while you're mid-cutting a steak. So first of all, a $300 dish, it is a little bit more expensive than what I personally would have a budget for. The food seems quite nice. Like, it seems like everything looks absolutely delicious. Their dishes look incredible. Like, truly, it looks like it would be a very nice, like, fine dining experience, right? They do have a bit of a dress code, so you can't wear like casual wear, you can't wear open-toed shoes, hats, that kind of thing. You don't have to be like super fancy dressed up, but they do say to wear like business casual or more formal, I guess. So yeah, you know, it's a nice place. Personally, the food's a little bit outside of my budget, but I mean, you know, it would be a nice fine dining experience for somebody who wants to, you know, spend that much money on food. Like, lobster is nice, but it's not $400 nice. You know what I mean? So anyway, so it's a funny little TikTok. Like, she's like sitting there, she's hunched over, she's guarding her plate. She's like, nah, back off. Like, don't take my plate away. And it seems like a cute little video. When you go to the comments, the top comment is actually from the Golden Steer restaurant, Las Vegas themselves. So they say, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We take our service standards seriously, and what you described is not something that we typically hear from our guests. After seeing your video, we immediately reviewed the footage in detail, watching frame by frame to better understand the situation. While there do appear to be some inconsistencies between the experience described and what we observed on the video, we're truly sorry to hear that the evening did not meet expectations. We always want every guest to feel well taken care of, and we appreciate the opportunity to look into this closely. So, inconsistencies, they say. They're calling her a liar, right? They're saying, listen, lady, we watched the CCTV and your story is not matching up with ours. And listen, I can understand a restaurant getting defensive. I totally understand that, especially if they feel like they didn't do anything wrong. But to comment on the customer's video Instead of commenting something like, hey, we're so sorry to hear about your experience, send us a DM. Like any other business would, right? Any other business would say like, hey, I'm so sorry about your experience. Please send us a DM. Or not even to apologize. They could have just said like, hey, send us a DM. But no, they had to call her a liar. They had to say, no, we saw the video. And there's some inconsistencies. We think that maybe you're not telling the whole truth. So yeah, we do have a couple of responses from the girl who posted the video. Someone commented, I hate when servers clear the plates away before the whole table is finished. It just makes the slow eater feel self-conscious. And Roxanne responded, I am the slow eater. I'm looking at her plate and it is still full. It is still full. What I'm imagining is that everyone else has finished their plates and are probably just sitting there, maybe like sipping their drinks, whatever. The server's coming through and clearing everyone's plate, and they just grabbed hers too, or like went to go take hers away. And she was like, no, like I'm not finished yet. And they just like made a joke out of it, right? Like somebody says, I would have demanded they remake it. And Roxanne replies, me too. It wasn't yummy either, and I didn't want to eat it again. I should have demanded a comp. So she's saying the food wasn't even that good. Maybe that's also why it was taking her such a long time to eat it, because it was only okay. It just seems like she's not a super confrontational person, because her food was taken away right in front of her, and then also she didn't want to complain that the food wasn't even that good to begin with. But maybe once she got home and she had this funny video, she just had a change of heart and was like, you know what? I'm just going to post it. Because honestly, if I was paying for a $400 meal or a $300 meal, I would want it to be perfect. I would want it to be perfect. If it was put in front of me and it was only okay and it only tasted okay, I'm not the kind of person who sends food back. Ever. The only time I ever say something is if I specifically asked for something and then they forget to do that thing, then I'll mention it. But if they bring me something and there's like something that's off and it's not a really big deal, I usually just don't even say anything. But for a $300 USD meal, I would have to say something. I would 100% have to say something. At least ask for free drinks or something. You know, if they can't comp the whole meal, which I'm not saying that they should have to comp the whole meal. Somebody else says, high prices mean high expectations and strict rules. You should have had your meal replaced and comped. Unacceptable. You're paying for the experience after like $120. I'm assuming they mean like $120. I agree, but I don't disagree. I would agree if they completely like took the plate away and maybe like your plate had touched another person's done plate or something like that. I would want a replacement myself. But if they just kind of like lifted the plate and then she was like, no, I'm not done, and they put it back down, I think that's okay. Like she can still finish her food. It kind of depends on the circumstance. You know, now that I'm actually kind of saying it out loud, it's a little bit icky to me to continue eating that plate. I want to assume that the server's hands are clean, but if you're clearing other people's plates and then you grab mine as well, like who's to really say that your thumb didn't just touch someone else's uneaten food and then it's on my plate? So, but I would also like, I know I wouldn't really be that person I'm not a very confrontational person either, okay? Like, especially in a restaurant setting. I don't know if I would say anything either, but except for maybe just like laugh at the situation and feel bad about it later, like she clearly did. Now, the comment from the Golden Steer restaurant is probably bad enough on its own, but what made it 100 times worse was they actually posted a follow-up TikTok. And it says, POV, this is how we clear your plate at the Golden Steer. So they are directly referencing this poor girl. Not only did they go and they comment on her video, hey girlie, we looked at the CCTV and we think you're lying. They also made a follow-up video saying, look, this is how we clear the plates. I don't believe at this point that they actually have a PR team. The marketing team, like this is just so... If you look at the caption, it says clear communication, flawless execution, hashtag Golden Steer, hashtag Las Vegas. I'm sorry, but this is just so crazy to me. It's so funny. And it's kind of mind-boggling to me that this is not a little bit more viral because that just seems so unhinged to me. It seems so unhinged. Like, you're supposed to be a nice restaurant, right? You're supposed to be all about the guest experience. I can't remember a single time I've been to a restaurant where, unless my plate was completely empty, but if there is still something on my plate, even if it's just like one bite, the server will always ask before they clear it. They'll always say something like, oh, can I take this away for you? Are you still working on that? You know, whatever it might be. I don't think I've ever had someone just take my plate away from me in my life without saying something. So I find it just so odd, even if every other person at the table was finished. A lot of people had some things to say about that. Hi Faye says, interesting response. I'm sure we love to see the video in question. And that has 880 likes. And you know, it is an interesting response. In this day and age, you think that more companies would realize how quickly social media can take a turn, especially on TikTok. You know, like, people are so quick to make judgments, and I have seen TikToks take down a business. You don't want to get on TikTok's wrong side. You really don't. So I think that it's quite bold of the restaurant. So for this restaurant to come and like comment on this girl, to comment and just basically call this girl a liar. And I also think it's interesting that they didn't even ask to reach out to the guest. Like, they didn't even ask for the girl to reach out to them, or didn't ask to be able to reach out to the girl. They just said, thank you for bringing that to our attention. That's really something. It truly is. Another person says, what's the point of your backhanded apology? Either defend yourself and deny what you did, or take full responsibility. I don't know. I feel like they did completely deny it, though, in saying that there was inconsistencies. I think that that was their nice way of saying, girl, you're lying. Am I wrong? Another person said, did you use AI to write this comment? Maybe they did use AI, but I also feel like AI would probably advise them not to make a comment like that on a TikTok video. Somebody says to post the video. I would like to see the video. Even if you're not a super slow eater, like, I can understand if you're with a bunch of your friends and you're just like talking, you get distracted and you forget to eat. That happens to me all the time. So I can understand maybe she is the only one left on the table with a full plate, but the server should still ask. At least, like, you know, the server should still ask her, like, hey, are you done with that? Are you still working on that? Something, you know. I think it's super weird for the server to just come by and assume and to take her plate as well. So, from what I can see from this video, it doesn't seem like she's like angry or upset. It seems to me like she's just making a joke out of it. The way that she's kind of like hunched over, she's like guarding it. You know, that seems to be like a lighthearted thing, like, oh, haha, this just happened. Whatever, right? Fine dining restaurants especially, like, they put guest experience in the forefront of their priorities, right? Like, they are all about making sure that their guests have a good experience. To not only call someone a liar, but then to like make a follow-up video saying like, listen, this is how we know you're lying. It's just like, it's so crazy to me. Like, why can't they could have said nothing. You know, it's like the James Charles thing. You could have just said nothing. You could have just let it go. Because I doubt that little video would have really ruined the reputation of their restaurant anyway. But doing this and like, you know, making the comments and then following up with the snarky little video, you know, you're ruining your own reputation at this point, honestly. Even if, let's say, the guest was not completely truthful in her experience, I'd like to know, do you think that the restaurant still should have made that comment? Do you think they also should have done that little follow-up video? Do you think they should have gone down a different route? Do you think they should have ignored it? Yeah, I don't know. This is just a little bit weird to me. It's definitely a choice by the Golden Steer restaurant, Las Vegas. So, yeah, I kind of hope that Roxanne comes back on and kind of like explains a little bit more about what happened, but maybe it won't happen. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys thought this was as entertaining as I did. Anyway, I hope you have an amazing day, and don't forget to like, share, and comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.